Good night. Good night. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning! Good morning!
Good night.
Here's the note. See ya.
See ya. See ya.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Good morning! See ya. Good morning!
Good night.
Here's the note. See ya.
See ya. See ya.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night.
Hey, how's it going? Hey guys, is the camera a bit low? Camera's a bit low. That's all right. Oh, no, it's not. It's just me and OBS. I can fix that. What up, guys? Can you hear me? 1 2 1 2. Let's get you guys some background. There you guys are. Oh, wait, did you guys not hear the intro music because I had the wrong setting? Dang it. Roddy, how am I doing? I think I'm doing okay. I visited a friend today who's moving out of town. I've been working with him on and off for the last decade. It's kind of like my first job moving into Los Angeles. He actually made Fables happen. Brian Dixon. I borrowed equipment from him to start this channel. I'd have to take an Uber across town to pick up the gear and then bring it to the apartment, build it, play, take it down, and drive across town and drop it off again. And do that every time we played. For like the first year of the channel. And so he's moving. He's moving to a different state. So I'm gonna see a lot less of him. Beyond that, did I get work done? I didn't get much work done today. Premiere was acting up. It was really bothering me. For whatever reason, the footage for the last react is really glitchy, and I gotta deal with it. Atmoseeker, late night crawl, you bet. Craft, it looked like crawl. Craved. But something came in the mail, guys. And it's right here. Are you ready? I don't know if you're ready. Let me zoom in before I show you. Okay, guys. Button's right here. Fold top down. There we go. So that came in the mail. What does that look like to you guys? It looks like a cannon to me. Pretty close. It is a crane. So, last minute order. So this piece does rotate technically. But once I put the neck on, it's a little too much weight. This is a rush order, and the fact that it was 3D printed and it looks this good is super impressive. And then it has a little hook for me to glue right there. That's easily going to break. Yeah, I mean, the only way I can tell it is 3D printed is by holding it. And it's not resin either. That's the impressive part. So I need you guys to brainstorm for me and tell me what's a great way to keep the rotation without having to glue it. Because I'm thinking magnets, but I don't know if I have the right magnets. And it's filament, so I'm going to have to, like, I don't know, drill in, I guess? Is that smart? Small string to hook up the hook. I have to do some DIYing to get that to work. See, how would I do it? I would need to put a thing here. Okay, I can't draw on it. Can I draw in general? I think all the work on the foam has killed my pen. So I can put something here on the side and something on this side. And then repeat that up here. So it's a path for the string. And then just glue that to the string here. I don't have a wheel for it to have to lower and raise. That's the downside. Need a Dremel to glue a magnet in for sure. What do you mean by pin it? I'm not as clever as you. I'm going to need some assistance to get my brain moving as fast as yours, Professor Maniac. You have a pin vise? I do not. Coffee works for me. Yeah, at 8:30 p.m. Stick a pin in the middle, upright. Okay. And use that to connect both parts. Okay. I see the concept there. Let's see what I got. I have a bunch of, looks like 2mm magnets. That doesn't make sense. They're definitely 3 or some stuff. They're bigger. 5mm? I can't tell. What do we got? 2mm wide. 5mm diameter magnets. Pretty thick. I mean, best choice is to actually get rid of this center piece and just put a magnet in the middle. And then it would just snap on. Heat up the pin. While we think about this, we also need to remember we're working on these. Gallon of glue. Can't forget about that. Oh, and then there are 2 more up there. Okay, I thought I was out. Well, I need those. Okay. So after the stream last night, right before I went to bed, I just tried it. I tried it. I took my pen and started pricking holes. And you can see the little nail holes. And I think it looks great. And it's not like I was intending to do more work after the stream. I was just like, okay, close everything. Huh. And it turned out great. A pin vise. I just want to Google it so I have the picture in my brain. Mmm. Yep, I understand. You guys never explained it poorly, but the picture does say 1,000 words. The question is, does it look cool? Ooh, mounted right up here. Oh. How could I even dare try to glue it? You know what I mean? Be a crime. Okay, so if we're gonna do magnets, question I have is, let's start simple. Can I fit 2 magnets on the inside of this hole, pre-made hole? Let's start there. 2 go in, but then the pin has nowhere to go. So it'd be great if there was no pin. Okay. And then you guys mentioned in chat something about using a Dremel. Glad I didn't get rid of it. Cost way too much to get rid of. Yeah, my thinking is cut the pin, glue a magnet in replacement of the pin, and then glue another magnet on the inside of the top piece. I just gotta pick the right Dremel head. Guys. I don't have any, like, heads just pre-made, and I've never had to swap a head on a Dremel. Because I'm a little baby. Knife could be a good start. Okay. Let's start there. Smarter, then harder. Got an X-Acto knife around here somewhere. Saw it like 20 minutes ago. Found it. It's got a nice flat side to it. It's working, it's just gonna take a minute. Meanwhile, we'll talk about our sponsors. McKee's Macromancy. McKee's Micromancy. 15% off using Fables D20 if you want LED fires, crystals, mushrooms. Decorate your dungeon. Also, I have more that I still need to paint from him. I have these like dungeon crystal orbs. that use bouncy balls to glow. I have street lanterns. You can get torches and lanterns that have a stick on a little magnetic base, so that way it looks like your mini is holding that light. Woo! Got it off. Thanks, McKee's Microbiology LEDs. All right. I think this nubbin is literally the same size as one of these magnets. It's really close. Like super close. Okay. I need my super glue for this. But where did I put it? Guess where I was. Where I was. Guess where it was. In the bin labeled glue. Like, it sounds stupid, but it's where it was supposed to be. What up, Dad? Big Carmichael in the house. By big, I mean the bigger one. Not the bigger one, the bigger one. How's that not the first place you looked? I don't know, guys. Okay, so let's put these magnets on. I really love super glue gel over super glue. It is such a dream come true. There we go. All right. Dang it. Just got home from work? Dad, this is perfect timing then. I'll show you what this is once it's done drying, or because super glue doesn't dry, once it's done bonding. If I can get it to bond. Some of you guys might not know the context of this, but the writers in Hollywood are on strike because they're not getting paid enough. And for context, to get what they're asking for, the producers would just have to give them a larger cut, and that larger cut is 0.0003% of the earnings. So it's not unreasonable. When they went on strike, the producers threatened to use AI for writing scripts. The Directors Guild and the Actors Guild are like, what? You could do that? And the Directors Guild got in, got a meeting, got out. Good for them. The actors got in, got out, and they were good. But then today, the Producer Guild said on a public interview Let them lose their apartment. Let them lose their house. We can wait it out. And then I go on Twitter and I say, man, I love having an AI editing assistant. All right, it's bonded. So, for context, what we just did was on this base, there was a little nubbin. We cut it off and we replaced the nubbin with a magnet. And the goal is to put this top piece on it and have a rotating crane. For our fancy dandy mining set. Come on, pen, do you work? Need a marker. Right here. In the pen jar where it's supposed to be. Okay, let's just draw an X right there. Might need 2 magnets. No, I just need 1. So how many of you guys out there know who Dale Kingsmill is? Her YouTube channel is, there we go, The Monarch Factory. I'm already fucking this up, guys. I need a pin. James, we are putting a couple magnets on this 3D printed Etsy, which is also really cheap, crane to make a rotatable crane for a mining set. I did. I made sure the polarities are correct. So, is there music tonight? Do you not hear music? Because I've been listening to music this entire time. Guys, I swear I stream on the regular. I had the volume bar for the music down to 0. I swear, I know what I'm doing. Also, I need to get new chairs. I don't have the money for it, but like I need to get new chairs ASAP. My lower back is killing me. I'm still going to need the glue, so I hope this works. I did get moved into my new place. All right. All the minis are over here. You can see kinda, maybe. How dark is this? You can't really see what's going on behind me, but there's a bunch of boxes. But right here is the D&D set, fully built at all times. It's great. No more finagling tables and cameras. It's just here. I should have an Amazon gift registry, not gonna lie. I should. And then in the bedroom, our friends moved the Murphy bed, so we could still put up and put down the bed. And Allie's got a desk in there, and all her books surround the bed. So it's like sleeping in a library, living in a fantasy. It's pretty great. It's pricey. It's pretty great. That's a big reason to actually stream almost every night right now, is just like my streaming setup is technically non-existent. I'm scrapping it together, and I would like to learn faster. So the only way to learn faster is to do it more often with low pressure. All right, I think this is good. You guys ready? Ready for these magnets? Watch, I mess it up. They're going the wrong way. Oof. Oh. Ah. James, you moved last week? Dude, you gotta have a friend who's an electrician / handyman, because then he can mount the TV on the wall. He can help mount the bed on the wall. Help. Like, it's the best. Okay, back to the magnets. Okay, here we go. Did I put the magnets in correctly? And are the magnets strong enough to hold it together? Don't forget to check out MCKEEMOROLOGY LEDs, 15% off using Fables D20 on Etsy. Link in the description. Also, don't forget to check out DSCRYB, Fables D20 promo code to get 10% off your subscription. Here we go. It went the right way, but is it strong enough? If it's not strong enough, it's going to the head's going to fall off. Dude, heck yeah. Do I have like just a basic like cheers sound effect in here? No, but I do have a healing sound effect. This might be loud. Warning, 3, 2, 1. I didn't hear it. All right, now, third question. Using the magnets, can it rotate? Remember to check out McKee's Micromancy and DSCRYB. They're sponsors of the stream. They're amazing. Here we go. Oh. Oh, so satisfying. Oh no, the magnet it glued off. Quick, quick, quick. Put it back on. Put it back on. Put it back together. No. Ah! I get super glue on my finger. No. Oh, it's metal. My wand of adhesive. It's the perfect use of it. I got a funny story about glue for everybody. One day, in my dad's garage. The thing is about my dad is he likes to play paintball. And he used to collect a lot of paintball guns. I think he still does. Markers, sorry. And they're these old markers that he had. That were kind of falling apart for whatever reason. I don't have the full story. And I went to go pick them up and like use them and kind of like, I think my thought process at the time was make sure they're not broken and they're working. And the hopper is the chamber that sits usually on top of a paintball gun to hold all the paintballs that will go into the barrel so you can shoot it. And it wouldn't come off. And I was like, oh no, is it broken? Is it stuck? Let's see if I can try. And I used so much force to peel it off. And I was like, ah, and I completely ruined it. Apparently, it was so old and my dad had refurbished it. And the way he refurbished it was gluing the hopper onto the marker. Hoping I was fixing a broken thing, my dad had actually glued it together in the hopes that that would fix the original problem. Good times. I think I was like 17 at the time, maybe 16. Still remember my dad's face. I think it was the first time that I honestly went up to my dad and said I broke a thing. All times before that, I would hide that I broke something. I think the wording I used was, "Hey, Dad," and he just sighs. And I go, "Don't be mad." And his next response was, "What did you do?" I bought you those battle mechs, sir. I'm allowed to break them. Your face. Oh, my cheeks are hurting. Your face. Your face when you picked up the battle mech that I had broke. I broke his battle mech. Like, I broke the foot off because I was playing with it because they're cool battle mechs. And I was like, oh no. And I put it back and I sat the mech perfectly on the foot. And then like a week later, my dad goes to pick it up. It just comes off. He's dumbfounded, and I have the audacity, yeah, I have the audacity to just straight up say to my dad, "Go, what did you do?" I was such a little shithead. Oh. While the adhesive dries, let's draw in some nails. So we follow the framework here. Oh man. So funny. It's basically 2 holes per plank of wood. Ta-da! Nails. So to my original story, Dale Kingsmill. She runs the channel Monarch Factory. She is a D&D creator in Australia. Good night, Dad. She's in town. She makes amazing D&D videos. I've been inspired by many of her videos. And I announced on the Discord that I'm doing a special one-shot with a time, like a small time window. Well, we just locked in a schedule. Hopefully it all goes through. We have a session 0 on the 18th and a one-shot on the 22nd. The one-shot will also have Allie in it, and it will have Jordy, who plays in the Jaws Curse of Amity Island. And it will be another anthology. It'll be a one-shot, so just like one game, but it'll be another anthology in my world of Aida. I thought that'd be a fun fact for you guys. Understand what's happening on the channel. Late at night, you learn the insights to what's going on in my mind. And it's just really cool. I'm excited to have a guest on the channel that is a fellow D&D creator. Go. So love that everything is dry. That makes me feel so good. Gotta make the ladders. Adding the nails is such amazing detail. It goes so far. Hopefully that super glue is going to be done by the time I'm done doing these nails. There we go. We still need to put planks on top of this piece. I would argue need to maybe put a plank across like this. Help sturdy up those legs. Okay, let's check in on the magnets. What everyone wants is the magnets. Please don't be bad and work. Fuck, did it again. No worries, glitch. Alright, well, I wonder why this is not sticking in there. All right. Ah! Okay, cool. It's all set, and we need to make 5 more of these bad boys. Okay. Where did I put my mountain? Oh. Okay. So this one is skips 3. So this can be put here, anywhere along this. And then it could go over here too. So let's just put it here, because that's where I was generally practicing where it would go. And then this would go up only 2 slots. So we were saying over here. Shit. Okay, so I need planks for this. Got plenty of planks. Planks for days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll do 6 and I'll make it work. Brickmaster, how is it going? Hello, Brickmaster. How can I make this rolling tongue accent voice without sounding offensive? And it's a really balancing line. It's like somewhere between Indian and Slavic. It's a really weird voice to hit. All is good. I'm glad. Did you see that I started putting the nail holes? I don't know if the autofocus is going to help. I started putting nail holes into the pallets. Oh, come on, autofocus. Sad. Sometimes technology doesn't work the way you want it to. And then we got a crane that we're trying to DIY into a rotating crane. And now I need to build a few more of these scaffolds. One of these is not like the other. Alex Yee. Back to the mine. I'm getting back to work. I gotta go work in the mines. You can't stop me. It's mine. Okay, so we got this. Now, is this good enough? Do you know longer no daytime casting? Wait. I was wondering, do you no longer do daytime casts? By cast, do you mean streams? I'm still going to do daytime streams on Tuesdays, but I'm using this as just like momentum to get back into it, to figure out the new setup for streaming. And plus I have a one shot coming up that's going to use this entire set, hopefully. And I need to get it done. Just draw in some wood grain. And then also on Tuesdays, after I stream on Fables, what I do is hop over to the Cmike channel to stream the React content. And then I edit that up and release the Reacts. Which my reacts have been doing well on social media. The strong, opinionated, hot take Carmichael. And hopefully sometime next month I can get back to making some recorded talking heads, giving like D&D tips, how to run a dungeon, how to run monsters, tips on role-playing better, stuff like that. That's pretty much in the works. I might finally finish my ADHD and Dungeons and Dragons video. That'll be the center brace. ADHD and Dungeons and Dragons? What's your angle on it? Is it running games with ADHD? Not entirely for the DM. It's mostly for if you have ADHD players. What are things that you can do to make the game a better experience for those players? And the consensus from my research and then my practice of it is that it makes a better game overall. That when you make a game for people who have short attention spans on a neurological level, that like being bored can become actually mentally painful. When you make a better game for them, everyone in the group actually benefits from having a more exhilarating game. So it's not like, and I cover some tips, and in the script, I don't know how beefy it would get for the video, but in the script that I wrote, it talks about some important terms when it comes to understanding ADHD, and knowing those terms and just a broad stroke understanding of those words and terms can help you remember better why you're preparing your games, running your games, and as a fellow player, why it's important to communicate differently and arguably better to your fellow players. Okay, good. So you have ADHD, and you DM, and you generally run 3.5 games. So that's a lot of crunch. So the players have exploration rules, work to keep active and mentally involved when not in the center. Also, I know a number of people that run therapy programs. When you say therapy programs, do you mean games that are basically therapy? Free therapy? Or do you mean something else? Okay, yes, free therapy. So, I don't necessarily consent to free therapy games. That's kind of a stance. Then, let's see. They are professionals. Let me rewind. So 3.5 is pretty crunchy. They have exploration rules. So that means you put in rules to fill in time. This is a good thing. Having certain like redundant rules can help cover those gaps of time. Exploration is a great one. I use the underworld clock for exploration, and that helps a lot. Something that does not do well for ADHD people, but I still do it anyway, is splitting up the party and putting them in their own scenes. It can get really boring really quick, and the practice there is making better scenes and making sure that everyone is entertained by a single scene. There's value to be gained, which is hard. Man, I haven't read the script in a minute. When you get all your ideas out of your head, it's harder to remember. Because I'm mostly playing 5e. Another thing I do, I changed the initiative system to be more visually friendly. because a big thing for ADHD players is invisible information that does not work well. So, to fix that, you have to remove as many invisible informations as possible. And that can sometimes come down to buying accessories, such as initiative cards, or making them. It's less invisible information. Another invisible information that is really helpful to get condition rings, because conditions can be invisible information. One thing that I've done, not just for me editing D&D content, though it helps a lot because of the show, is you dry now. You dry over here, please. A big thing that helped is removing damage rolls. So it's just attack rolls. And the damage is half max, half the damage die, basically. Plus your modifiers, all that stuff. And then on crits, it's max damage. That makes the combat move so much faster than most things. Like the whole roll your attacks and damage at the same time. No, because you still have to do math. There's a part in the game that no one at the table is entertained about. Everyone cares about what happens when you roll a d20. Almost no one else cares what you're rolling on your other dice. Yeah. Very much like old Final Fantasy models. So it's the half rolled or half rolled with modifiers. So damage equals, so the flat damage is half the die plus normal mods. So my let's say I have a short sword. Is a modifier? Yeah, modifiers are put on damage. So if I have a short sword, that's a d6. And let's say I have my strength mod is a +3. So it's 3 plus 3. That's 6. I can write that down. Every time I land a hit, it's a 6. Crits, it's the full d6. So 6 plus 3, 9. So whenever I attack and a hit, it's a 6. Every time I crit, it's a 9. Done. How do you play that out with spells? With spells, gotta hit the hay, Brickmaster. Hey man, you have a good rest of the night. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow. How do I play that with spells? So the same thing with spells. So if it's a spell attack, same thing, same concept as a sword, right? When it comes to pools of dice, such as like a fireball or lightning bolt, I typically let the players roll the damage because it's fun, right? When you have a half a dozen dice, it's fun. And everyone at the table is excited as well because it's a big hit. So as long as it's exciting and everyone has like interest in it, it's fine. Another great example is I don't do the whole like crit damage thing when you are unconscious for death saves. It's like normal death saves are you walk up and hit them and they fail 2 death saves because it's basically crit damage. For death saves, I count damage, and I have threshold damage for lose 1, lose 2, lose 3. And for that case, I have people roll, or if I roll, damage for death saves, because the damage matters. And we're at a high stake moment, so people are interested. And because we don't roll damage often, every time we do, it matters. And that increases everyone's participation in when that damage is getting rolled, because it's not like it's the norm. As the DM, I recommend Dungeon Masters always use flat damage. Dungeon Master is already doing a lot behind the GM screen. Rolling little plastic rocks and doing math by yourself, it's not entertaining. And not just on a show scale, like, I mean, entertaining for everyone else. Because usually when a DM is going as their turn, the players are bantering among themselves. Because they go, oh, he's doing his thing, let's talk. You know, it's like the teacher's got their back turned, we can whisper and do whatever we want. That's funny. For initiative, I do something different too. I have everyone roll initiative as they normally would, because saying roll initiative is a fun, like pastime of the game. But then what I do is whoever rolled the highest goes first, and they get to choose which way to go. Clockwise or counterclockwise. They typically choose whatever direction. It doesn't go to me, the DM, because when it comes to me, I run all the monsters on my turn, which makes my turn long. And I don't like that. Maybe I should just reduce how many monsters I have on a battlefield. But that initiative system I have found is so much more fun. It's easy to remember the initiative. It makes that invisible information not just a little card on the thing, but the initiative is the people around you in the order we're sitting. And I have found zero qualms or issues with it. So for reducing monsters, I've had a habit of using squared rules for anything greater than 10. You could do that. I don't really track how many monsters I have on the battlefield. Once I start getting to higher numbers, I definitely start lowering their HP and AC in general. So it's like if I have a dozen skeletons on the battlefield and one Death Knight, the Death Knight stats are the Death Knight stats, whatever I make them to be. The skeletons, because they're kind of like minion monsters, I make them easier to kill. One in the hopes that a player is so not on top of their game that they spend an important resource, but also to get that fighting evil feeling, and possibly I can chip away at their health because I don't reduce the damage that my monsters can do. I just make it easier to hit and easier to kill, which in general players like. Thank you, James. Yeah, it gives them the power too. And yeah, you would think, oh yeah, the player with the highest dex always goes first. Not always. Sometimes they don't roll well. And then I'm working on a homebrew right now, inspired by the 1D&D weapon mastery. I like the idea that if I attack you with a energy type of damage, like cold, fire, necrotic, whatever, right? I like the idea that there's something more to it than just a different type of damage that's either resistant or immune or vulnerable to, right? I just want something special. I want something animated to it. And obviously I can narrate whatever I want to narrate, and that's fun. But with a lot of popularity going into weapon mastery, which if you don't know what that is, that means martial weapons can do cool things on every hit. Something more like mechanically, tactically flavored. So the idea is like, if I attack you with necrotic damage, I heal. Or if I crit on necrotic damage, you fail a death save, and that death save is failed for until a long rest. If I crit with a lightning damage, all adjacent creatures get electrocuted. Or if I crit on cold damage against you, you are now at half speed until the end of my next turn. Stuff like that. So it's not more damage. And it makes sense to keep that stuff on crit. I had a whole list that's not crit and crit. I got some feedback and I feel like I agree, like just leave it for crits and add that specialty to critical hits. You're working on a homebrew poison called Ink Blight, which is a vision-based poison. Ooh, hidden in the inks or paints that affect the viewer. That's dope. Yeah, my poison is... I've changed the poison condition for myself. It's basically healing is halved, and you have disadvantage on death saving throws. And I think disadvantage on attacks and checks. Something like that. It's nasty. I made poison really nasty. And so like, with the energy attack homebrew, if I crit on poison damage against you, you now heal at half until the end of my next turn. I honestly, Black Armory, what happened to my lips? Black Armory crit chart. That's pretty cool. Critical successes and failure tables are the bomb. They are so much fun. Okay, let's glue. Well, before I glue, I gotta draw some wood grain on this. This morning, the homebrew that I was working on was languages. And basically removing common language. And saying, here are all the common languages in the world. And then setting the rule that when you create your character, the party has to agree on a common language that the party knows. I like the language guarantee bit. I looked away for too long, so I gotta catch up. Also adding Brennan's emphasis rolls. Yep. Nearly 1, so I should go brush up stuff. Yeah, man, if it's getting late, it's all good. I want to try to get all the wood grain on these pillars and glue this one pallet down to get that tall level up before I wrap up. I like the language guarantee bit. It gives gray flavors. Thieves can't. It does. So it's like, what I don't like about common as a language is just it removes it as a possible challenge. It shouldn't be an obstacle that's unbeatable. But when you're exploring and adventuring and traveling, going to places where language changes is really special in the real world. And you shouldn't have to, as a DM, RP speaking a different language. But I like the idea that the party, the table, they can all speak the same common. They can all speak the West common. But when you travel to the East has a different common. And if you don't know that common, you gotta find translator. And now that's put an NPC in the room, and now the DM can interact with players differently. Especially with large empires, yeah. Glitch, is the crane working? It kept on taking the magnet out of the top, so I'm just letting it dry. I do have, on my homebrew, I have, you know, one common language. If your intelligence is 12 to 14, you can know a second one. If it's 15 to 17, you can know 3 common languages. And if it's 18 to 20, you can know 4 common languages. And when you are learning new languages, when you add up those points, you're allowed to swap out one of your common languages for an exotic language. How many exotic languages? On character build, I'm not sure. I gotta go back and look at what feels right. Because I forget how 5e adjudicates it. How does 3.5 adjudicate exotic languages? Here. There. Ooh, that's a good idea. Is it tall enough? It's just tall enough. This one over here on the far right is just tall enough to reach the top. That's so cool. What are you asking for 3.5 exotic languages? How does the game adjudicate how many exotic languages players have? Is it one? Is it based off ancestry? Is it based off of class? I can't remember. For bonus languages, I use intelligence modifier, and I let players use a feat to use charisma modifier. That's so good. That's so good. Such a good homebrew. Is it the charisma modifier instead, or charisma modifier and intelligence? I do instead most of the time. Made exception for the bard once to make it both. That makes sense. Be nice if you could write that exception into the feat. But I like that. God, that really is good. Who else would use that? What if it was always both? Who would abuse that? The sorcerer, the bard, and the warlock. Just those three would abuse it. I guess the wizard could abuse it if the wizard ever put anything in charisma. Paladin could. That's right, they're charisma. And I'm actually on the stance that cleric should be charisma based rather than wisdom based. Because a cleric's duty should be to gather followers, not just be getting wiser. So to be better to level up as a cleric, you have to get better at converting people. And then also, as kind of a priestly duty, be able to be there and commune with your followers and talk to them and help them out. Paladins would. And paladins don't have a reason to know that many languages either. But most paladins don't ever invest in intelligence anyway. You'd have one heck of a min-maxer if they're trying to do that. See, I don't have a... Jehovah's Witness. Exactly. What a subclass. Well, let's be honest. When you're a player and you go interact with an NPC cleric, odds are that cleric is a cleric to the god you already worship. So the DM already has to play a charismatic cleric. I think it doesn't have to be a charisma-based class, but it should absolutely, working with your followers and help grow the followers of your deity should absolutely be part of the deal. Do we have any more short ones? I do. There we go. It's a shitty scaffold. All downtime is good door to door. It's going door to door. Absolutely. Yeah, sorry, you still going door to door? Yeah, okay, moving on to the next person. I need all the charisma in the world to be a good cult leader. Charisma-based prayer checks? Ooh. Sweet. So let's make a ladder. I'm still cautious of putting this crane together. So I need to cut... First, draw the wood on these itty-bitty little sticks. Go. These down because it only needs to be so big. Go. One more in here. Oh yeah. Now we're cooking. Have any videos on world building, trying my hand at homebrewing a world, but kind of lost on what to do next? You do a broken step for the ladder? Ooh, yeah. There's a handful of them out there, but a lot of them are, you gotta pull threads to get stuff that you want. It is on my to-do list to do world building episodes or world building videos, especially now that with the Jaws game, Curse of Amity Island, coming in August 2nd, and this one shot with Dale Kingsmill. I have a lot of lore coming with a whole world with a bunch of anthology games. So, I definitely need to talk about my world and how I approached making it. Okay, so let's put these legs on so I can see what it looks like. There we go. One of adhesive. Please don't break. Both ends to make sure they fit properly. Also, I also know Cmike showed off some of a Thousand Islands zine. There are also a couple books I want to get to help with world building. I have a couple big ones. One of the big things that I do for world building is I have my idea, right? So I know that these are, right, it's this vague picture is this. Cool. Then I will go to official printed books and go, a great example, Waterdeep. And I basically pull from that well everything I need for this city right here. And I'll be like, Waterdeep is the foundation of this city. So much work is now done. And I didn't have to stress over all that work. I got far enough that I could actually play in the world on my next game. And then as I sit and brew on it, I find ways to make it my own and change details here and there. And then it just becomes slowly over time no longer Waterdeep. Like D&D spent, Wizards of the Coast spent like thousands upon thousands of dollars to make that city in that book, okay? Take it and use it. Use those thousands of dollars, thousands of hours as your starting point versus 0. There we go. I got a ladder with one broken step. Good idea, guys. Okay, let that dry. What is the lie that these people believe in? That's pretty good, like, broad stroke world building. I have a few of those. A lot of those came slowly to make my world unique. Because the big thing about world building is you gotta play in it. And once you start playing in it, you start making canon choices as a DM, which then force your brain to think of more things and more things. So a big part of world building for D&D or tabletop is you gotta get some foundations in there just to start playing. I have mixed feelings about that. So it's a little bit of both. You should absolutely start small in the sense of a town with a dungeon underneath, right? Super Simps. Or a dungeon or a cave, whatever, right? But what I like to do is I then had to quickly zoom out, look at the continent in the world. I need some broad strokes, not details, just broad strokes. We're on this continent. There's a continent over here. There might be a continent over here, whatever. Or just one continent, and we're on this region, and there's that region and this region. Great. So I know the invisible information, the context of a wider picture than everyone else. I then what was the next thing I did? Oh. I then started to develop a timeline. This is the now. When did, like, this thing happen? When was the previous war or the previous cataclysmic event? When was the beginning of recorded history? So, and I don't need to know all the details. I just figure out what the ages were, just like little chapter marks. And now, whenever my players walk through a dungeon, anything I'm not prepared for, I can go to my timeline and think about what lore do I want to talk about? What's the history part that I want to talk about? And I get to develop as I go. Flicky TV, love Cmike. What a wizard of world building. Thank you, Flicky. Train of thought gone. And now it's back. So yeah, timeline. I love building in timelines because it just allows me to connect new ideas every so often. So it's like, oh, this will attach to the elven thing. This will attach to a dwarven thing. This will attach to a giant thing. And I know where that is in the timeline. And if my players play a giant in a dragon-based dungeon, I know that the giants and the dragons had a war in way back when, and that persisted culturally. So now I get to be mean to my giant player through dragon lore. So that's how I approach it. And so far, it's been really good. Okay, so we have... Let's count our ducks. While I make some nail holes super quick. There we go. 2 platforms that are made to go onto the rocks are technically done. The short one and the medium one. We have a ladder. We have 5 modular scaffolds that can go around, which is honestly going to make just a great little like puzzle maze vibe. And then we have the tall platform over here. And what I want to do is build some more modular pieces so I can build a towering system here. So I need 1, 2, 3. I need 3 full pieces. So I need to make 3 more scaffolding tomorrow night. And then I have a massive vertical dungeon main set piece here. And it's going to look crazy good. I think it would have worked great with some magnets to snap them in. But as I see how the foam kind of is just a little too flexible, I think that would have been bad news bears. I think as long as they're just like well balanced, they'll be fine. Yeah. I'll just make a couple more full platforms tomorrow. I have this pieces. I need to cut up a few more logs. I have plenty of planks. I think it'll look good. And I'll make them specific with like a hole for a ladder to go through. And even this one can have like a plank connecting it. I want to incorporate magical ley lines onto my world, but trying to figure out a way to draw the lines in a proper symmetrical way is a pain. Look for an AI to help. That's absolutely something an AI should be good at. Okay. I've literally let this magnet dry for a super long time. So, we have the base of the crane. We put a magnet in it. let's see if it falls apart again. Okay. Great, it held together. It's definitely heavier than the foam pallet that it's standing on. But I have a rotating crane. This is great. And they can be like, okay, so let's put this up here for a sec. Sure, I can make the mountain move for that. So we put the platform roughly here. There we go. There. And we put the crane up here on story number 3, where it's precarious and easy to fall over. And then technically that crane would be going all the way there. That's fun. I can even put it a little bit more dead center. Ooh, maybe not. Okay, let's try something super quick. Take this plank. Can the magnets find each other on the opposite side? They could. This entire project could have been magnetic. So that could have been, that might still be a thing. Because I can still put a couple magnets in here for these double stacks to just be a little bit more sturdy. This is coming together. So I need to make 3 more scaffolds designed in a way to build upward for these ones. I'm gonna have to cut a hole out right here. And a ladder. I think 1 ladder will be enough. And I want to make some like side support beams. So to just go across like this, just to help the sturdiness of the legs. All right, but that's a job for tomorrow, guys. It was a nice, chill evening stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. Same time tomorrow, 8:30ish, my time, Pacific. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll hang out for a couple hours before I go to bed. Making this awesome, giant mine set. I'm excited. I'm excited to play with this. I just have like 6 days to get it done. 5 days to get it done. Alright, guys. Well, I'm going to call it there. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. I'll see you all guys tomorrow. Have a great day, afternoon, evening, and good night.